Hey everybody, my name is Jared and I am a Master Mason in the state of Mississippi in the United States of America. And in the last video I told you that as Freemasons we specifically are taught that before we engage in any important undertaking we should seek a blessing of deity. In other words, we offer prayer before we do our work. And then I told you that there was a specific prayer and that I would tell you about it in this video. So what is that prayer and how does it go? Well, here in Mississippi it goes just like this. Vouchsafe thine aid, Almighty Father of the universe, to this our present convention, and grant that this candidate for Freemasonry may dedicate and devote his life to thy service, and become a true and faithful brother among us. Endue him with a competency of thy divine wisdom, that by the influence of the pure principles of our institution he may be better enabled to display the beauties of godliness to the honor of thy holy name. Amen. And there you have it. That is the opening prayer that is offered here in the state of Mississippi for every entered apprentice degree. And I think this is an important thing for people who are not Freemasons to really understand, because too often it is alluded to or sometimes flat out claimed that we are not in any way a spiritual people, or that our motives are of a very different persuasion, when in reality what we're asking for in this blessing, in this prayer that we're asking for, we're invoking a blessing of deity. We're asking deity, we're asking God to bestow a blessing. So that's what it means to invoke a blessing. You're asking for the blessing. So we're asking, well, for several things. Let's go through this. So let's take the time to learn a little bit more about this and kind of go through it line by line. It starts with, vouchsafe thine aid, Almighty Father of the universe, to this our present convention. So simply speaking, maybe in more modern terminology, we're asking that the meeting in general be blessed. Many times you might hear people offer a prayer that simply asks for the Spirit to be with us, or something to that effect, inside of a church setting. So here what we're asking for is just a blessing about the meeting that we're involved in right now. Okay? Then we say, and grant that this candidate for Freemasonry may dedicate and devote his life to thy service. Now, I'm not sure how anybody can construe that to be a negative term in any way or form. We're asking for this candidate to be able to dedicate and devote his life to the service of deity. We want him to feel that in his heart. Pretty simple. And become a true and faithful brother among us. So we want him to not only have confidence in us, but that we can have full confidence in him. At this point, many of the brethren of the lodge barely know the guy, and many may not know him at all. But we're taking it on faith and a short investigation done by a few brothers that he is a good man and worthy of being a part of the institution, that he would not be somebody who would spoil the name of Freemasonry. And so here we continue that line of thought by asking deity to help him become a true and faithful brother among us. Next, we're asking for deity to endue him with a competency of thy divine wisdom. Again, a very simple thing. We're simply asking for deity to give him the inspiration that he needs, that wisdom that can only come from deity for everything else we're about to mention. It continues, that by the influence of the pure principles of our institution he may be better enabled to display the beauties of godliness to the honor of thy holy name. And I think that this is a very key thing. Many times in Masonry you will hear people make very clear point that Freemasonry is not a substitution for your religion, that you still need to be seeking your salvation through the church. And so in here you have some very particular words, and you'll learn throughout Masonry that each word has a purpose and is there and cannot be replaced without changing the meaning. So here we're saying that by the influence of the pure principles of our institution. So we're talking about the things inside Masonry that are pure and unspoiled, that those can be an influence that by the wisdom that's given to the candidate, to the man who's about to be a brother, that inspiration from deity can come to him through the pure principles of the institution and better enable that person to display the beauties of godliness, and always to the honor of thy holy name, to the honor of deity. And I think that if you can piece that together and understand what we're really trying to do, you'll remember that we're constantly talking about morality and being better here on earth. We want men to be able to conduct themselves and interact with others around them in a better way, in the best way they possibly can, to display those principles of Freemasonry, that morality that we just talked about, and that by doing so they can display the beauties of godliness and honor our Father in heaven, to honor deity. So I hope that gives you a little information about the prayer that is offered at the beginning of an Entered Apprentice initiation, and we will continue talking about the Entered Apprentice degree in the next video. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.